It's your friend CJ Werleman, and today we exposed Israeli and American efforts to cover up their respective losses in their failing war against Iran. But first, please remember to like and subscribe to our show, while also turning on notifications so you never miss a single episode. Now let's get into it. No major conflict since the First World War has been subjected to more media censorship than the Zionist Crusader War against Iran. And the reason for this is simple. Israel and the United States are not only taking a savage beating, but also losing control of every domain in which this battle is being fought. Which means an expansion of violence and bloodshed across the Middle East, further destruction to the state of Israel, a collapse of the entire global economy, and then ultimately the death of American empire itself. So forget what you're seeing and reading on Zionist-friendly media outlets, given they are operating under strict orders to not report the devastating impact that Iranian missile and drone strikes are having on Israel, the United States military, and its allies in the Persian Gulf. This truth is being deliberately hidden in plain sight for domestic political purposes, with the Trump administration banning independent journalists from White House and Pentagon press briefings, as the Israeli government threatens its citizens with jail time for posting footage of Iranian missiles slamming into the country, which explains why reports aired from Tel Aviv are heavily censored on CNN and Fox News.
Again, Iran continues to show an offensive capability, launching missiles at central Israel. We have one interceptor over my shoulder right now. We can't show you because we can't show landmarks, Martha, but something that has really changed here.
We're not showing you that because we're not going to show, the Israeli government does not allow us or want us to show where that may have come up, that interceptor. But I'm not.
This is why Trump and Netanyahu were furious when Fox News and other networks let slip that Israel is secretly panicked over dwindling supplies of US manufactured interceptor missiles for its Iron Dome air defense system.
We're seeing more drones penetrate our defenses than I think expected. We should be really honest with ourselves about that. That brings up, frankly, a larger issue that I've been talking about on this network for years. We have our critical installations around the world have been vulnerable. There are people in some of our own government offices who have failed the American people in purchasing failed equipment. That's why we're seeing some of these Shahid drones get through. Even one enemy drone getting through our defenses and striking a U.S. embassy overseas is unacceptable. And Martha, something, a cheap $20,000 Shahid forcing us to burn multi-million-dollar interceptors, starting fires currently at oil facilities and U.S. embassies, that's unsustainable math. Marco Rubio.
As time goes by, and as the Israelis run out of defensive interceptors, interceptors that can knock down these incoming ballistic missiles, the amount of damage that Iran can do to Israel will be very great.
In the very first 4 days of this conflict, Iran destroyed or severely damaged nearly every US military base in the Middle East, which together took more than 70 years and billions of dollars to build and equip.
Sunday morning, an Iranian strike set a makeshift U.S. operations center at the civilian port ablaze. 6 American service members were killed in the attack. You can see smoke rising from the fire. The blown-out 3-wide trailer blackened on the inside. There are few signs of fortification. In another attack, a drone, this appears to be the Arash-2, crashes into U.S. positions in Camp Buring. A building severely damaged. American helicopters parked inside the base were nearly hit. In Bahrain, a Shahid attack drone flies into the base that hosts the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet, one of the largest American naval formations in the world. It looks alarmingly defenseless. The drone hits one satellite communication terminal, clearly seen here. But the scale of the damage is more obvious here, warehouses and other buildings damaged, and another satellite communication terminal destroyed in a separate attack. We see this pattern of targeting throughout the region. At least 5 satellite communication terminals were destroyed. It points to a possible Iranian effort to cut US bases off from the outside world.
Now that Iran has destroyed and degraded key radars and air missile defense systems, an overwhelming majority of US surveillance, interception, and air defense networks have been disabled in the region. effectively bringing down a security shield built over dozens of years. This radar blindness means Israel's airspace is now open for further waves of powerful Iranian attacks, as illustrated by an on-the-ground report from a Spanish journalist in Tel Aviv, who said Iranian missiles are now striking the city without detection or advanced warning.
Escucharse dos detonaciones, dos bombazos en la zona donde estamos, acaban de caer, en las inmediaciones del lugar donde estamos, dos bombazos, uno en la cercanía del aeropuerto, estamos tratando de averiguar información, estamos otra vez en el refugio, ha sido impactante y un detalle que nos ha inquietado mucho más, no sonaron las alarmas, así que esto nos ha sorprendido.
Put simply, Iranian firepower is now giving Israel the Gaza treatment, as the Zionist state is being hit on a scale that surpasses its worst imagined nightmares. Here's just a tiny sample of what Israel is desperate for its enemies to never see.
הלך סורוקה, בראש שלי משפיע על... בסורוקה. סירוב מוחלט. תראו את האנשים. יאללה, אנשים, פנימה. कल का जो इजरायलियन जो कि यहाँ पे हिमाचल चलाते हैं फूकने के लिए उन्होंने बताया देयर वर 4 हाउसेस नोबडी इज अलाइव। इससे पता लगता है कि बड़ी वहां घटना हुई। और मैं आपको सच बताऊं कि वहां का टेक्नोलॉजी जो कहने की बातें है ना, अलार्म बजता था हम लोग को। एक दिन सुबह 5 बजे की बात मैं आपको बताऊं कि अलार्म बजा ही नहीं, बस धुड़ुम धुड़ुम की आवाजें आ रही थी। पता लगा कि बिना अलार्म की चीजें आ गई। तो टेक्नोलॉजी फेल है। और जब वो आपके ड्रोन्स और खासतौर से मिसाइलें दगती है ना, तो नहीं पता हमारे 200 मीटर से हम कितनी दूरी पे। और अभी आपको पता लगा होगा कि खासतौर से मिडिल ईस्ट में सारे अमेरिकन एम्बेसी को उन्होंने टारगेट किया। हो सकता है कि तेल अवीव की उसको टारगेट किया था, तो हम भी नहीं।
Life for Israel and its Arab state allies have deteriorated so unexpectedly bad as a result of Iranian missile and drone attacks that the United States was forced to move air defense systems from South Korea to the Middle East during the past 24 hours. But if you're looking for hard evidence that accurately reflects the current scoreboard, then examine the way Trump and his Republican allies are trying to distance themselves from the decision to follow Israel into this war.
What is left? Why are we at war with Iran?
Great question. Yeah, great question. I mean, the simplest explanation, might be the one that they gave 24 hours in, that they've kind of tried to backtrack since then, which is that Israel made us do it.
On Tuesday, Trump, who typically steals and claims exclusive credit for every piece of good news, no matter how minor or absurd, began blaming his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, property developer Steve Witkoff, and former Fox News host Peter Hegseth for leading him into this war.
The situation was very quickly approaching the point of no return, and the United States found it intolerable, in my opinion, based on what Steve and Jared and Pete and others were telling me, Marco, so involved, that I thought that they were going to attack us. I thought they would, if we didn't do this at the time we did it, I think they had in mind to attack us.
Iran is acutely aware that Trump has boxed the United States into a corner and with no easy exit in sight, which is why Tehran has responded to US pleas for a ceasefire or return to negotiations by telling Trump to shove his so-called peace talks by saying, "You may have started this war, but we will be sure to finish it on our own terms."
Right now you're saying Iran does not want a ceasefire.
We are not asking for a ceasefire. And we don't see any reason why we should negotiate with the US when we negotiated with them twice, and every time they attacked us at the middle of negotiations. So there is no request for a ceasefire by us, and there is no request for the negotiation with the US from us. We have never sent any messages to them.